videoing, going left and right. I love it.
Awesome. Try to get the balloons out of your way.
I saw those as well.
Sorry. Kimberly Horn. She is going to be our bowl coach for the whole 6 week period. Where is your home base?
Tampa, Florida.
Yeah.
But I started my real estate in Atlanta.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I
Anyway,
did.
so it's all you.
I am coming home, basically, is what this is going to look like.
Nice.
Perfect. Well, first off, thank you everybody who's here in the room. And I saw like all of your business vendor partners in the back. So this is just for you as well. So make sure that you take something from this. Do me a favor. I'd love if everybody has a pen and a paper because I'm going to tell you a little bit about Bold, but I'd love to pour into you if that's okay.
Please. Yes, please.
Yes, please. Exactly. Nobody wants to be sold anything. That's not what we're here for. So, first, let me just give you who I am and why you might want to listen to what I am. My name is Kimberly Horn. I do live in Tampa Bay. I did start my real estate career in Atlanta, Georgia. I remember I had my full-time job. I think I was bartending, and my best friend said you should do real estate. And so I took the real estate exam. So excited when I passed. Shortly after that, I was already dating the man of my dreams, and we got engaged and we moved to the DC area, which is where I started truly practicing real estate. I was practicing for about 5 years before KW. You guys have seen this before. They tap you on the shoulder going, "Hey, look here. We've got this really cool stuff here at the Keller Williams office." And they said, "We think you might be a great team leader." And I'm like, what the heck is a team leader at the time? And after about what we now know as the CV process and 20 interviews, I became the team leader of the downtown DC Market Center. Now, I tell you that because I don't know if you're like me, but I'm competitive. So that office started around 146 in agent count. We took it to just under 300. I personally am born and raised in Florida. So the white stuff that comes from the sky is not my favorite. I like the white stuff on the beach. So after about 5 years in the DC market, I moved down to the Tampa Bay area. Anybody in the room know James Shaw? Heard of James Shaw? Okay, good. I took over his market center, took that from just under 300 to almost 500 agents there. Number one in our region there for the 6 years that I was the team leader. I am an investor in real estate. I am a MAPS coach for the last 12 years for team leaders, OPs, agents, you name it. I have been a bowl coach for 6.5 years. Married, I already mentioned, to an amazing man. If you're a parent in the room, you're going to understand this immediately. I have three savage humans that I'm raising. I have twin boys that are 14, just started high school, and a daughter who's 10. And I only tell you these things because I want you to understand who I am and why I may relate to where you are and what you do. Now, why do I do what I do? Because I travel quite a bit, and so does my husband actually. And I believe my highest and best use on this planet is my big why. And my big why is what I kind of coined to two words, which is generational influence. My mission is to inspire people to do something different in their world. And I don't care if you remember my name, where we met, or whatever, but if something happens in our room together, or I say something, or you think something different just by what's going on in the bold room specifically, or maybe even on this Zoom, that's what I'm here for. I've had so many coaches who have shaped me, who have probably smacked me around a little bit and have kind of held up the ugly mirror saying, is this really all of the potential that you had? Especially whenever I've ever thought that I couldn't hit a goal, they would help me find my strength in me so that I can move forward in that. So another big thing for me is I don't work nights and weekends. You might catch it every now and again because I'm human. So if boundaries is something that you're looking for, standards and systems and a way to run a business that doesn't run your world all the time, that's what we're going to be here. So here's what I'd like for us to do today. I want you to be present where your feet are. So if anybody has one of these, I'm sure you don't know where it is or is nowhere close. Do me a favor, turn it over. Put it down for the next, we'll say about 25 to 30 minutes while I pour into you and your business, because what I want to teach you today is called the steps to mastery. Now, here's what I do know. Nobody is paying for information anymore. We are information flooded on a regular basis. But what I'm going to coach you on, I want you to start to identify where you are in your life and in your business? Because here's what I know. It's not always about the transactions that we're doing. It's how are you running the best version of yourself? Raise your hand. I can't see your hands, but raise your hand if you know you have more potential. Will you keep the view like that? Is that okay? Because I was talking to me. I like to talk to you. Okay, perfect. So raise your hand again if you have more potential. Oh, I got somebody on Zoom. Perfect. I love it. I feel the same way too. I feel like I have more potential and I'm just looking at figuring out what I want to do. Yet, what I tend to do less is work on the business. I work in the business. Let me give you a good example. I had one of my MAPS clients. She's a mega agent in the Lafayette area. She got on the call today like she was on fire. Literally, hair was on fire. And she could not get out of her own way to figure out what to do next. And she just looked at me and she goes, just tell me. Tell me what to do. Well, sometimes our coaching is telling what to do, and a lot of times it's discovering. So, my goal for you is to bring you some value today and a gift for yourself. I'm going to ask you to participate. One. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is do not judge yourself. Be in the moment, but, and I'm going to use the word but. I know in bold we talk about not using it, but do not, but be honest with yourself. So don't judge, but be honest where you are. Exactly where you are in reality is the best way we know. I love, Dara, to seeing the numbers that you guys have. This is up and this is up, and oh crap, this is down. We already know that we're walking into a different market. Now, in Tampa, we've already been through a shifting market. We've been doing those things here. We're considered an indicator state on a lot of those. But who in the room is feeling a little bit of the squeeze of the market? Like you maybe have the listings, but you need some more buyers, or maybe your buyers are getting a little bit exhausted right now. Anybody feeling the market looks a little bit different? Good, perfect. Do we have more competition in the market right now? Yeah, absolutely. Are we doing more but not getting the same results? Meaning you might have said something like this. This used to work last year at this time. Why is it not working now? Do we have anybody in the room? Okay, good. I'm seeing head nods and hands up. All right, so our job now is to figure out where we stand so that we know where to go. And that's what I want to talk about today. So, in the steps of mastery, do me a favor, get a piece of paper, and you're going to go landscape style. Landscape style. And I want you to draw 5 very specific steps in the steps to mastery. So, it should look like this. You guys all see that really good?
Hold on, let me grab some paper.
Okay, grab some paper. It doesn't have to be as big as mine, but I'm showing you, so I made mine super large. You can do this on a smaller piece of paper as well. But 5 steps to this. Now, this is called, you can label the top of it, Steps to Mastery. Everybody got that? I know she's getting you some paper, so I'm kind of pausing. We're going to go ahead and talk about the first step. It's my list. The very first step you have, which if you're going to start the stair steps, we can start at the bottom. I want you to write the word foundation. Write the word foundation. Now, has anybody in the room ever gone out and built your dream home, helped a client build a dream home, or you know what it looks like to watch a house being built? Anybody in the room? Okay, good. Who has the cutest dog I have ever seen? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Squirrel. I'm just like, there it is. Okay, you've seen a house being built, right? Or you've built your own house or you've helped a house. Now, once they picked a lot and once they have the designs for the house, what is the first thing the builder does before they do anything else? What's the very first thing? I think someone said it, but I could not hear it from here. Did someone say foundation? Yeah, you've got to build a foundation to support the house you want to build. Now, here's the thing I want you to think about. Let's say that my dream home is 4,000 square feet. Like I want a big one. Now, you in Atlanta, y'all have cool things called a basement. In Florida, we don't have basements here. But let's say that you wanted to build a 4,000 square foot home with a nice big basement. Would you support it on 1,000 square foot foundation, or do you need a 4,000 square foot foundation? The second one, right? Yeah, you're like, I don't know for sure, but it's the second one, right? Think about your business as you start to grow because you guys are actually walking in to Q4. Matter of fact, in my mind, we're already in Q4. The actions you do now will show up then. So when you start to look at what you're going to be setting your goals for in 2027, we've got to build your foundation for your business to support the growth for next year. And a lot of times, what I find agents do and entrepreneurs do is they're working so much in the moment or in the business, they forget to take a view of the business to say, does my foundation support my growth for now and my growth or in the future? So here's what I want you to write beside here. I want you to write beside foundation the word non negotiable. Non negotiable. It looks like a little bit like this. I shorthanded it to non negotiable. See this. Now, here's what I find a lot of times in that foundation, there are gaps, there are holes, there are places that you see, I put like just circles there. You can just add circles. There are things in your foundation right now that are holding back your business. They're holding back the ability for you to have a life by design. Now, I'm gonna throw some things out there. If you say, Kimberly, ooh, that's me, I want you to write it down on one of the gaps, okay? Is your database is your database at the highest level possible, meaning you couldn't do any more in your database, or is that actually a gap right now in your business for growth for either this year or next year? How about time blocking? Is that something that might be a gap in your business? How about your follow up systems? Maybe just systems, period. Listing systems, buying systems, social media systems, oh my gosh, all the systems. What about, I'm going to say one that not a lot of people think about, self care. Do you take care of you? Or are you the last person that receives your energy and your time? What does your follow up system look like? What does your lead system look like? Maybe some of your guys are going, Kimberly, I personally can't do anymore. I need leverage. Do you need leverage in your business? You should be asking yourself a couple questions when it comes down to the foundation. What do I need for my business to grow? What skill set do I need to learn to fill in that gap? And what do I not know that I just need to find out about? Who in the room would like to build your brand greater on social media so you can get leads and business from social media?
Everybody.
Everybody, exactly. I knew she would pipe up. Who in the room says, yeah, every now and again, I might have 100 of these sticky notes somewhere in my office that has somebody I need to follow up with? Anybody? Am I okay? Good. Thank you for raising your hand. I appreciate it. All right. So foundation is important. Now let's go to the next step. The next step I want you to write concentration. CONCENTRATION. Yes, I spelled that for me and not for you. See concentration, it's right there in the second step. When you're in the bold room, and if I do anything on the whiteboard, it never fails. I spell it wrong. I don't know what it is. As a team leader, I did it. It was crazy. Concentration. Okay, and now I want you to think about this. In the foundation, you've identified gaps. Yes, we've said maybe database, maybe time block, maybe mindset, maybe listing, buyer, follow-up systems, maybe social media. Then we go and go, okay, how do we concentrate on what we need to do? Like, how do we play all in? There's a really cool book called The One Thing, right? What's the one thing that if I did it today, it would help and save me time in the future? It's not exactly how the question is, but you get my drift. Beside the word concentration, I want you to write the word all in. If you said, Kimberly, my database is what needs to work. Like I know without a doubt, if I was really to focus on my database over the next 4 months, I would double my business in 2027, which is true, by the way. Then you say, I'm going to go all in on the database. I'm going to go all in full speed on the database. I'm going to figure out what I need to do, how I need to do it, what tools it needs, what systems it needs. So that when I walk into 2027, there's zero doubt that my database is exactly where it is. Now, I will say this about the database. It will never be perfect. It is a living, breathing organism in it is the lifeblood of your business. It must be continuing to grow, move, and change. That's designed that way. So when you go into the concentration phase, you go, okay, I'm going to dial into this one thing. Because once I get into concentration phase and I get it into momentum and I get it into a habit, I now can start moving forward. So the next step is called momentum. momentum. Right beside that, I want you to write the word focus. Focus. So I wrote momentum on step 3 and the word focus. Once you've identified what it is, once you've figured out what you need to do, now you go into momentum. Raise your hand if you think momentum means movement. Movement. Yeah. Well, can I give you another definition of this momentum? It can be boredom as well. It can be the same thing over and over as well. It can be consistency and doing it again and again and again. But that consistency, that continuing movement on that actually creates the momentum in your business. When you're able to focus in on the one thing and you do it over and over again, it's not that other things are not important. It's just this is the one thing. Gary Keller came into the MAPS coaches. This was in 2000 and gosh, I can't remember. It is when Diana stepped out of MAPS. Whenever she stepped out of MAPS, Gary came to the group of us and he said to the coaches, I want to kind of give you an idea of how I look at things. He goes, when I came in and took over as CEO again, what I did is I saw everybody was at the beach. That's what he says, and in the water, and everybody needed to be saved. He goes, I had to look at it and said, what is the biggest priority for the company? That's what I'm asking you to do. What is the biggest priority for your business right now? And if you're a vendor partner or a business partner in the back, this might be the same. This is the same business talk that I would be talking to you about in the room. Has zero to do with real estate and more to do about business. All right, we're going to move to the next step. The next step is going to be stabilization. Stabilization. And beside that one, I want you to write the word systems and predictability. Systems and predictability. Stabilization. Now think about this. You said, okay, database is my database is my biggest priority. I see that as the biggest gap and hole in my business right now. I went in and figured out exactly what I want to do. This is the tool I want to use. I'm going to use some terms that KW you may know, DTD2. I'm going to use a 36 to convert. I'm going to make sure that I connect with my database, all the different things. Then I go into momentum, meaning over and over, I'm going to use this. Stabilization comes when you can start to map out your business. Think about this. If I was to give you a piece of paper and I put, oh, look, I have a puppy here, by the way. Oh, sorry, he took off. If I was to give you a piece of paper and it said, I know, sorry, I told you squirrel. And if I said January, February, and I mapped out your entire year, and I said, okay, these are the 12 months. You said your goal is to do, let's say, 50 units next year, right? This is your map. Tell me who's going to close in January. And you go, well, I'm not in January yet. What if the momentum that you did gave you stabilization in your business that you knew January, these people were probably going to hit, and February, we're going to like this, and you had Q1 of your first year already planned out? What would that do for your energy? What would that do for your mindset? What would that do for your stress? If you just said, I now know where Q1 is going to fall into. I now know that I'm going to be in business. Because here's the interesting thing. We sometimes start working on the new year in the year. When in reality, by January 5th, you should have about 10 or 15% of your goal under contract. So the time to work on where you're going to end this year and the beginning of next year is today. All right. Then we're going to move up to the word mastery is going to be step 5. Mastery is going to be step 5. Beside the word mastery, you can write the word creativity. Creativity. Think about it like this. If my business is stable, I know the business is coming. I can now get a little bit more creative on how to do it. Now, here's the interesting part. We only focused on one dot in the mastery, right? We focused on, I said database. We did that on the steps to mastery. Could you look down to your foundation and you can see multiple other places you can move? Now, when you look at these 5 steps, tell me, like, have them yell out, where do you feel your business is right now? Where do you feel your business right now in the 5 steps of mastery?
Everybody's terrified to say anything. They're like, don't make eye contact. It's not on me.
No judgment. No judgment.
We're talking business. What do you focus on?
It depends on the day.
It can depend on the day. It can depend on what you're working on. Do you
I think
see?
I feel like I'm in momentum, but a lot of times I still feel like I'm way down the foundation, and then what's the next one? Concentration.
Yeah,
Um, so some days I feel better than others, but my best days is 60. So
I love it. Thank you. Who else? You're real estate agents. I know you're not quiet. Come on.
I would probably say concentration because I'm focusing on how I can be an AI-enabled agent and utilize programs to help me do a lot of the things that we're talking about here. Your database, making sure you're in the database, making sure you're having the follow-up systems built in there. So with the AI tools that are out there right now, there are a lot of tools that allow us to have a concentration that'll be able to move us forward a little more quickly, a little more succinctly, and have that identification there to be able to work with that and roll with that better.
I love it. I love it. Tell me the name of the lady in the red and the lady in the blue.
I'm Gail.
Gail and
Yeah,
I'm
in the purple.
say it one more time. She's like, I'm wearing blue.
It's purple. Wait, it's
Oh.
close. Everybody's like, nobody ever changed. Jake's like, it's not me.
I'm sorry. So I want to bring up both points that you guys brought, which I thought is perfect. You guys could not have walked me out into this a little bit more. Here's the interesting part about the steps to mastery. I wrote the word E to P here. Every part of going through steps to mastery is going from what you entrepreneurially feel easy doing, can do, to something that's more purposeful, which I call painful, right? Anytime you got to change who you are, shift what you're doing, it can feel a little bit painful. But here's the other piece that you guys both kind of meant. Like sometimes I feel like I'm in momentum and then I drop down to concentration and then I feel like I need to go here. You can absolutely, between each section of these, have an E to P moment. Do you see little dashes I made, the little green dashes? Each stair step is an E to P moment in your business. The interesting part, have you ever done something in your business and you're like, this is working great, and then for some reason you just stop doing it? And then you go back and you go, why is this not working? Oh, I don't do that one thing anymore. And you're like, this was a foundational thing. It was a perfect thing to do. We can get into different phases of this depending where it is. The cool part about this, and write this down, awareness is transformational. Awareness is transformational when you make a different choice. Awareness is transformational when you make a different choice. When you recognize what the steps of mastery look like, when you understand where you stand in the steps of mastery or what part of your business is in steps of mastery, then you can identify what is next. The only way to continue to build what you're doing, and I honestly would even look at steps of mastery in my personal world as well. Am I spending time with the people that I want to spend time with? Am I having date nights with my husband? How am I working on me? Like this can work in every part of your world. But when you're aware of where you stand, you know where you can go next. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions and I want you to be honest with these questions. Hold on, I'm pulling them up. I got them right here in my screen. The first question I want to ask you is, where is your lead generation in this? Where would you say you are in your lead generation? Are you still foundational? Are you sometimes in concentration or are you in momentum? So much so that if you don't do your lead generation, you feel a little weird. That's called stabilization. Where are you with your time blocking, your personal life, your relationships? See, here's what I know. 6 months from now, you will either have 6 months of excuses or 6 months of progress. Every single one of you pretty much raised your hand and said, I've got more potential. We've got to tap into that. See, high-minded thinkers, we will pay more for an opportunity than for a result. So when you're in this room, in the bold room, my goal is to teach you how to fish. I know you've all heard that concept. I want you to stop stepping over dollar bills to pick up pennies. I want you to solidify what 2026 looks like so that you can build a 2027 that gives you more peace, more money, and more profit. You know, when I was my very first listing, I remember getting it and I ran into at the time it was a broker's office because I wasn't with KW at the time. And I said, I got a new listing. Will you come and will you, I'm so excited. It's tomorrow at 4. And she's like, that's awesome. I'm like, oh, so you're available tomorrow at 4. And she's like, I'm not going to your listing appointment with you. And I was like, oh my God, how you can't set me out in the wild by myself. And she goes, no, but I'll teach you what to do so that you can go do it by yourself. I'll teach you what to do so you can be confident in that. I'll teach you what you do so you can repeat it over and over. I don't know what you need to be taught right now. I don't know what you need to implement right now. I don't know what your business needs, but I bet you found some type of form in this that says, I know I need more in my business. So you don't have to answer these questions out loud, but I'm going to ask you 5 different questions and I want you to answer them in your mind. The first one, what is the income gap between your potential right now and your reality? What is the income gap between you set goals for 2026, between your potential, what you know you can do, versus what you can do? Is there a gap? Are you spending, question number 2, are you spending more time in stress than you are with your family or your friends? Are you spending more time thinking about what's not happened, what could happen, how you're going to do something than actually being present in the moment with the people who most love you? Question number 3, how much mental energy are you wasting beating yourself up versus building yourself up? See, in bold, a big part of what we do is we want to work on on the person inside, the female, the male inside of you, because when we put you together, the whole world falls into place. Question number 4. How much money have you left on the table this year because you didn't follow through with your plan? And then the last question, which I think is probably one of the most powerful ones, are you building a business that reflects your ambition or are you building a business that reflects your excuses? Which way are you building your business? We tend to judge other people by their results, but we judge our own self by our potential. Now, before I see if I left anything out, what did you get from this? Give me 3 ahas or 3 takeaways or 3 thanks so much, Kimberly, for bringing this up in us. What did you get?
Really, can you repeat your last statement? Because I want to write it down. Are you building your business?
Yeah, are you building your business that reflects your ambition or does it reflect your excuses?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My takeaway is that I can move up and down the steps.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Love it.
I loved it when you said that awareness is transformational when you make a different choice.
When you make that different choice. Yes. We can all know that we want to get healthier or lose weight or whatever it is that's in your thing. But until we actually take action steps to do that, this is another one of my favorite quotes, and I'll say this in bold a couple times. We don't choose our future. We choose our habits, and those habits decide what our future will look like. All right, one more aha.
I like the thought of knowing January or what that looks like now. That would be nice.
So it's interesting, our market centers, we very much play by this rule. We look at our whole year and we go, how do we make sure that we stay in the red? We really look at that kind of stuff. I'm looking at how do we teach you as agents to do the exact same thing. I love that. And we will put a big focus on database in bold. Matter of fact, I do a really great exercise that I'm already going to give you a raise on step 1. So we'll do a massive exercise and we put big focus on what does your database look like, because I know without a doubt, if you were to focus seriously on your database over the next 4 months, your business will double next year. And you need to be at a place that inspires you to do it, holds you accountable to do it, and gives you ideas of how to do it in the right way.
Kimberly, I have one question for you. For anybody that's in the room that has not ever done Bolt before, what's one thing you would tell them?
Oh my gosh. That's a big question and hard to answer, but let me tell you this. If you know you have more potential in your business or in your world, and I don't care what business you're in, because I know we got a lot of people in here, this is the space you be in. If you'd like to be in a place where the energy is going to be high, you're going to be around people who are growth minded, meaning we want people who are walking in the room that the lights come on and they don't, there's some people who leave the room and the lights come on. This is a place where you go to grow. It challenges the way you think, but it also stretches you outside of your comfort zone so that you can be a different person walking out. I say over and over in the bold room, the person who walks in will not be the same person who's walking out. We will have so much fun. We will be focusing on your business. We'll be focusing a lot on yourself. You'll discover things about yourself that you won't know, and you'll never leave there in a bad mood. Matter of fact, I'll have people all the time who walk in and go, I didn't really want to come today. And I'm like, oh, I'm so happy you're here. And they'll say, and then they leave. I go up and I go, how you feel? They're like, I'm so happy I came. I know. I knew you were going to say that. And it's true. Because when you put yourself in a place with other people who are having this, growth and this excitement. Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff.
Any other questions or thoughts or? All right. Your team leader is about to ask you to pop cold, hard cash. I love that. Raise your hand if you're committed to doing full bold, like you're ready to go. All right. We got some hands in the air. You got some popping to do there.
We got some pop to do.
Oh, we got a couple on Zoom as well. Listen, don't miss out on this. If you know you have more potential and you didn't build up 2027, you could not be in a better space than in this bold room.
Awesome. Thank you, Kimberly. We'll see you next time.
See you later, guys.
Was that informative?
Yes.
All right, something good. Awesome. All right, we'll do at the balloons at the end. Just show me your confirmation.
It's much prettier than her headshot.
I'm sure she is.
You said that right after she signed off.
I'll tell her. Yeah, she'll be thrilled.
Usually it's just the opposite. I mean, somebody walks in and you see their headshot and you're like,
By the way, we live in house local.
you see their headshot, and you see them and they're like,